Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the I Foster Juice podcast. I am your host, Juice, and I'm here with my co-host, the long-awaited departure from the UFC to my Anderson Silva, Rain.
Damn, dude, they finally announced it. It's been so long.
I guess because he was kind of like leaving it on the fence after the Uriah Hall fight. I guess Dana didn't want to be a complete asshole about it, so I don't know. I don't have any problems with it. I mean, as everyone's saying, let him roid up and go to Ryzen and rematch whatever, or one or whatever.
He might end up there, because Bellator, Scott Cooker's like, nah, I'm good. I like our current lineup. Thanks, though.
That's fucked up. But hey, I mean, you can only be the old guy promotion for so long, right?
Yeah, but just the way he's being let go and just like disregarded, it's sad to see it.
Happens to
but he kind of like did it to himself, right? Because of the whole like the blue vial, all the excuses and
Dick. You mean the Dick Phil?
Yeah, he tarnished his own reputation by, still not really admitting it, right?
Well, I blame the media and fans with that too. They're so marveled by his greatness that they let him off the hook. It just happens.
Yeah, just sucks. I mean, yeah, because of that, like, you forget how great he was. Like, makes you wonder too, like, has he always been doing it?
So the highlight reels are for, and yeah, I mean, who was I think I was hearing, I think it was when Luke Thomas was on Joe Rogan's podcast, and he said something about, they were talking a lot about drug testing and cheating and all that. And he said something that like, yeah, these tests aren't really tests, and that, some of these guys that have been caught are really, they're just dumbasses. How could they get caught with that? And then he basically alluded to like, yeah, like if you're gonna cheat, at least be smart about it, which has always been my stance. I was glad that Luke said it. Joe Rogan started laughing when he said that. I'm like, no, it's true. Like, okay, if everyone cheated, sure, but there's people that never got caught. Why? Because they at least have some intelligence. I'm sorry. Like, to me, if you get caught cheating, you're for sure a cheater, or okay, we don't want to say that it was a tainted supplement, whatever. Okay, you're a cheater, or if you can't read, you're illiterate or you're a dumbass. Like, and I'm not cool with any of those. I'm not cool with cheating. I'm not cool with illiteracy, and I'm not cool with you being a dumbass. So either ways, strike one, strike two, or strike three, you're out in my book.
Yeah, that was a brilliant podcast, by the way.
Oh, I loved it. That's one of the first Rogan podcasts I've heard the whole thing. I believe I heard it from beginning to end in a long time.
Yeah, finally getting Luke Thomas on. Like, I actually enjoyed it. I hated that motherfucker before, but yeah, I like that dude. He's pretty solid with everything. Like, so smart too.
Why did you hate him?
Just because he was part of MMA fighting and the entertainment of MMA, and then he branched off, and
so basically because he was like an elitist.
I guess you can say that.
With Hawani and those were the people. Those were the top MMA people. So you're being kind of hipster about it.
Like just pushing bullshit instead of really like talking about the fight, or the fight game itself. It's just pushing bullshit, clickbait, baity shit. So. Yeah,
but Luke has always done his own thing, and maybe now in retrospect you kind of see that. But I think Luke's always kind of, I mean, yeah, he was editor of Bloody Elbow for a while, but that was before I started following him. I always liked him for having like his own perspective.
Yeah, I mean, that show that he had too wasn't too bad either.
Yeah, I mean, he's doing it again with promotional malpractice, right?
Oh, is he? I always see him with like, what's that dude's name? Brian Campbell?
No, yeah, that's a Morning Combat, but I think he still does it from time to time. I don't know if he does it every week, but I think he does it like every couple of weeks sometimes. Yeah, I think he still does the promotional malpractice. I still watch it from time to time. I don't keep up with MMA as much as I used to, as I've said before, because I don't want people to like influence me and my dumbass opinions, so I don't watch it as much. But yeah, sometimes I'll watch things after the fact. Some podcasts I listen to, I may not listen the week of, but I'll listen to the next week. just because I like the show and it doesn't take away from my enjoyment. I like hearing people's takes. So yeah, specifically just to actually name someone, just to give a shout out, especially with MMA nerd Ashley. I don't always hear your show on the week, but I'll hear it afterwards because I think you do a good show. And yeah, you actually you got me to change my mind on Gina Carano. So good on you for that.
What?
Oh, I thought you'd have seen this, or I thought I sent you this little interaction. Yeah, I guess Gina blocked Ashley for some very like innocuous comments she made, and then I guess she'd been blocking a lot of people. Now I don't know what these other people said to her, but I know Ashley's a sweetheart, and yeah, can be a smartass at times, but anything she said wouldn't be that harsh. For Gina to block her, I'm like, oh no, you're saying like, and you're saying like this weird, cryptic political incendiary shit, but someone calls you out on something and you block people. I'm like, oh nah, Gina's not the one I thought she was.
Oh man.
I
Kind of
know.
defending her when she was trending, and whatnot, fired Gina Carano and everything. That was,
Yeah.
that was early in the week.
Uh-huh. Yeah. I don't even know what that was about. I still don't. But I'm like, she's acting like that. I mean, I'm not saying fire her, but I ain't following her no more.
I'm really not sure how that all started either, because she's been, tweeting just all kinds of weird shit.
Yeah, it's all cryptic. She's not saying like go Trump and fuck black people and I hate trans people. There's like a lot of shit that people are like making up in their own head. Like she's never said anything outright. She's kind
Yeah.
of she's kind of been skeptical of coronavirus from what I can see. Like that's like kind of undebatable. It looks like she's definitely more right wing in those talking points regarding COVID, but other than that, it's just kind of like, yeah, don't follow the crowd. Like, be your own person.
Yeah, she was doing that, and then I guess The Mandalorian released a new episode. One of the WWE wrestlers were on it. Her name's
Uh,
Sasha Banks, and I think that's what kind of sparked everything. Like you can have like a better actress, playing a different role and being a star on that show rather than having like this crazy ass bitch Gina, get rid of her. Like I think it had to do something with
is
that. I don't know.
if that is the case, that's hilarious. Because isn't Sasha Banks like a straight up homophobe?
Is she? I don't know. Is
I
she?
remember. Okay. I can't say this. Like, if I take this to a court of law, I can't prove this. But to me, this speaks volumes. I remember. I'm pretty sure I'm not making this up. I saw a clip or something on Twitter. She was on some radio show or something, and I guess there was some tweet, some kind of old post or tweet or interview where she said something kind of offensive about gay people. So they were like, "What do you mean by that?" It sounded kind of offensive, and they like asked her to clarify, and she said, if I remember correctly, she said something like, "My mom said if you can't say nothing nice about somebody, don't say anything at all." And they're like, "What do you mean? Like we're asking you about the gay community and your comments about it." She's like, "Yeah, I stand by it. I'm not gonna say anything."
Huh.
Yeah. Like, okay, did she call anybody a slur or say something? No, but you're basically saying you can't say anything nice about gay people. That's what it sounds like to me.
Well, I just pulled up an old tweet and it says notorious homophobe Sasha Banks not protecting her lesbian coworker's neck. We are not shocked. So, yeah, I guess that was in 2018. Oh shit, man.
I keep it up, Twitter. I know people are talking shit about fleets and this Instagramization of Twitter, and keep it up. Keep canceling people. Keep doing your thing, Twitter. I may hate you sometimes, but I'll come back to you. I'm a fucking bitch. I got the heart of a dog. I am loyal.
Yeah. I just like typed in Sasha Banks homophobe. And
Oh,
then that's like the first thing that popped up on the line, like that tweet. So,
that seems worse
wow.
than some of the shit Gina's been saying. But again, I this is a thing out of respect to Ash and out of principle of I hate people that block people, especially for innocuous comments. I think what Ash said was something like, "Oh, I like." I forgot what the character was, like some kind of frog, some other, I don't know what name she said, but some other
Oh,
character.
the
I'm like,
frog lady?
Yeah, it's like I like the frog lady better than Gina anyway, or something like that. And I guess supposedly that's what got her blocked. And I was like, I don't know what this has to do with anything, but if she's blocking Ash, one of the sweetest people I know, nah, fuck that. I'm down. I'm not down with you.
Oh my god, that's some funny shit. She
I'll,
got blocked for that. I
yeah,
saw the episode. Well, the last two episodes with that frog lady. Fuck, Gina, what is wrong with you?
she's soft, man.
Man.
She's soft.
I've seen like some tweets about her weight and shit. I wonder if she's just packing on the pounds and it's just affecting her brain or something, or like
The
CTE's
the
starting to catch up because,
the, the quarantine meals. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Hey, Thanksgiving's coming up too, man.
Damn, girl. We're gonna see more tweets then? Like,
We'll see. Hey, I am not at all gonna be mad at a thicker Gina. I ain't mad at thicker girls, whether it's with muscle or with fat. You bring it, girl. But nah, you blocked my girl Ash. I can't follow you. I still follow Megan Anderson. I still follow Megan Anderson, even though she blocked Ash. But Ash don't feel so special. She blocks everybody except me for some reason. Got blocked by Jessica I, even though I met her. I
you
met
got
Megan too.
blocked by Jessica I? What'd you
Yeah,
do?
and we've talked about this. I think we talked about this on the show before. It was
I forget, man.
no,
What did you say?
no, it was something just I forget what it was. I think she made some kind of comment about I want to say that I think she said that she was winning the Valentina fight before she got knocked out. Something ridiculous. Something like what? And I retweeted it and I just put presented without comment.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
That's
and she
right.
blocked me. Yeah.
Damn, that was recent too.
Yeah, that was probably like a year ago or earlier this year, but
Yeah.
that
You've
happened.
been such a supporter even though she sucked, man.
It was, I'm gonna admit, it was hard to root for someone that clearly sucked. I'm like, no, but I met her, she's cool. And then the Beshkohea thing made me really again because as much as I love any fighter ring, I'll always get Beshkohea's back, literally. But yeah, how she acted with Betch and here we go, evil, here we go, and oh my god, I don't know if you saw the tweet earlier with Amanda how Amanda did her dirty. That
Oh, yeah,
she
I
doesn't
did see
even hit
that.
hard.
Yes.
Amanda's a bitch.
Yes.
That's
Wow.
cold. Like, how you gonna do homegirl like that? Even I felt bad. I'm like, oh, that's wrong, man.
Like, is she trying to give her some confidence? Like, that's fucked up.
I mean, I know that Amanda and Valentina have a rivalry. Like, I mean, do they hate each other? I don't know. Maybe it's just competition. Like the way Jordan was competitive with everybody he ever played with. But and like I don't know. I mean, Amanda's a bigger girl, so and she obviously we know she's tough as shit. So yeah, maybe Valentina's kicks and punches didn't hurt as much because she just has a higher pain tolerance and she's just a better striker. But man, she did homegirl dirty. That was fucked up.
That shit's funny too. She had that
No,
stupid ass vest on.
I think that was the same week. And yeah, that was here we go, evil, here we go. I'm pretty sure that was fight week of that week. And then Cejudo with I think that was the Moraes fight with him fucking pulling the rabbits out of the hat and his little magician shit. Remember that stupid ass
Oh
bullshit?
god.
That was
Yeah.
a great. That was a
The
great
good
week.
old days.
God, I remember. I don't know who it was. It was probably Mac Molly who tweeted something like, "These are the weird kids in school," and it was a picture of Jessica I and Henderson.
Yeah. Yes.
Fuck, man. Fuck. And it was
This
just
that
so
kind of shit.
poetic. It was so poetic that she had a bulletproof vest on and she got shot in the fucking head.
Damn, dude.
Like, well, you were right. You were bulletproof to the body, maybe, but not the
Yep.
head.
Oh man.
By the way, folks, thank you for hanging in there. As you see, this is not going to be a typical show. We usually do a cold open and usually talk about something totally not MMA related, but there's going to be no format to the show. There's not going to be a news story. We're going to just talk about as much MMA as we can because Rena and I have been talking off the scenes and we're trying to do something a little bit different. We'll get back to this at the end of the show, but We thought we needed a little break, but we didn't want to leave you guys without a show, so we're gonna do it this way. And we hope you enjoy it for whatever it's worth. So don't expect the in-depth review of anything, the rewind or anything. Do not. I don't know why you would be expecting a preview with this fucking card that's coming up this weekend. And the headlines have been juicy here and there, but we're just gonna go totally off the cuff, no preparation whatsoever. So hope you enjoy it.
What do you mean by this card coming up this weekend? Is there something wrong with it?
I mean, the fact that they're charging $65 for it.
Oh, I mean, it looks pretty decent, but what, they raised the prices?
No, I mean, it's been $65 for a few months now. I think since the beginning of the year. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, to all the streamers out there, obviously it doesn't matter to you.
I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Said this on the show a few times before, but yeah, in case you guys were new or don't remember, I actually pay for the fights. I'm not saying this is like a point of pride. I know I'm a bit of a sucker for that, but no, I every time I try to, allegedly do the streaming thing, it just doesn't work out for me. So paying is easier, faster, and I have, no issues with the feed. So that's why I do it. I know Dana gets all of it, but at one point these fighters will be compensated, and then you think. And yeah, I want the fighters to make the money. Boxing is a different story because a lot of times you think people are pieces of shit in MMA. Boxing can really, really surprise you. So boxing, yeah. I supported you a lot in my youth, so maybe not so much in my adulthood. But anyway, yeah, I like Davison Figueiredo. I like Alex Perez. I like Valentina Shevchenko. I like Jennifer Maia. And these are good fights. But even if the upsets come, it's not worth it to me. So I am going to skip this one. I will watch it at some point eventually. But I'm not going to go out of my way too much for this one. And I know people were making a big deal about last week's card. Saying aside from Dos Anjos and Felder, there wasn't really much on there, but it was a pretty decent card. But it was, it wasn't free. It was on ESPN Plus, but $6 a month as opposed to $65 for a relatively weak card. I'm not interested.
Oh, okay. I mean, I thought it looked pretty decent because we get to see Brandon Moreno again. And then,
who's he fighting again?
That one kid, Brandon Royval.
Oh, that's right. That's a good fight.
So yeah, that should be a good one. Calvillo's back.
Oh, that's right. Well, you have a certain attachment there, so yeah, I get that one. And I know with me being the women's MMA guy, I should. Yeah, but who's fighting? Shikagan? Shikagan, right? Yeah.
Yep, she's fighting her. Mike Perry was supposed to fight Lawler, but Tim Means is stepping in. Really? I just want to see what happens with that. Tim Means a survivor.
I like Tim Means and everything, but nah. I know people have this stance with Greg Hardy, and I get it because he was it wasn't an accusal. I mean, he was convicted of hitting his girlfriend, and I get it. And I understand people say he shouldn't have this chance. I totally get it, but I guess I don't get as offended with him because he sucks. So I'm like, I don't have these hopes, and I'm not being fooled that this guy's gonna be a champion one day. So I don't really care. And Perry, I know he's not going to be a champion one day either, but I don't know how many people have abandoned him, to be honest. And that really worries me because, as I've said, when this first came up with Danielle, his ex-wife, talking about what allegedly happened, she checks all the boxes. So there's no reason for me to not believe her. And seeing the videos that we've seen of him acting a fool at a bar, and he clearly has mental issues, whether they're CTE related or not. He clearly has a drinking problem. And then with Latori being pregnant, I just get honestly, I get this feeling in my stomach. I worry. I legitimately worry. I don't think Greg Hardy has kids. I pray to God he doesn't. But if he has kids, then that's his issue. The kids are assumed somewhat grown and whatever. This is a baby that hasn't even been born yet. It's already clearly going to be in a fucked up situation. And I don't know if he can get his shit together. I pray to God he does, but I'm deathly worried, to be quite honest.
Yeah, I think she's supposed to be there too. With his
of course. See what I mean?
Or...
I don't know how many months she's in right now, but I know he doesn't have a corner and all this shit, but that's not her problem. Yeah. I don't know if you should be cheerleading this. We shouldn't be with this guy in general, but hey, what's done is done. But I think you should be cheerleading a dude while you're fucking pregnant at a fist fight.
Yeah, he did have that incident where he got knocked out by God, fuck, who was it?
Jeff Neal.
Was it Jeff Neal and he couldn't remember and he was like tripping out on
Yeah, it
Danielle.
was Daniel. Yeah, because she kept saying that it's over, and he didn't believe her. Like, when's the fight? When's the fight?
Yeah,
Which is one of those things that it shows how bad that knockout was. Because most people, when they get knocked out, it's like, what happened? What
mhm,
happened? Like, or they can't believe it's over. And he was going. He went back in times. Like, when's the fight? When's the
yeah,
fight? Like, I think that shows that the knockout was worse because they're not even acknowledging that time has passed. As
right.
opposed, yeah, it's yeah.
Yeah, so I kind of I understand where you're coming from. Like it probably won't happen with Tim Means in that way, but you never know, right? Like he could something happen with him and start going off on his new girl.
I mean, it's one of those. Yeah, it's one of those things that. I mean, if he loses, cool. If he gets knocked out, great. Yeah, I want this dude to fucking suffer, but it's not gonna be him. That's gonna be yeah, okay, a knockout. You don't feel a knockout. You get knocked out, you black out, you come back, and that's that. But if this is the way he acts and he has either mental issues or CTE, and we know this is a thing, and he's gonna trip like that on homegirl, like, nah, man. And I know we were laughing a few months ago with Darren Till and Kendra Lust and all this bullshit was gonna happen, but that was before these things came to light. You know, we were talking about Perry, I think like 3, 4 weeks in a row of all the ridiculous bullshit that was going on around him. Even after the whole bar fight thing, I was like, all right, that was very unfortunate, but that was a while back. He seemed drunk. Hopefully that's the end of that. But with the whole Danielle thing, like I can't look past it anymore. Like I will boycott his fights. I'm not boycotting this event because of him, but like I just don't think anything good will come of it, like at all.
Yeah, true that. Yeah. Well, who else is on here? Oh yeah, the sister
Don't care.
Antonina's fighting.
Don't care.
Really?
Who's she
Lipsky?
fighting again? Oh, Lipsky. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah, that should be a good fight because Lipsky
Yeah.
is a interesting challenger. Shevchenko, Antonina Shevchenko, I don't care about like too much in general, but
Yeah.
yeah, I know I'm seeming like a curmudgeon on this one. And man, honestly, if anything, Moreno and Royval would be the ones to
Why
let
save
me,
it?
yeah, to fucking pull me out on that one. But
Yeah.
honestly, holidays are coming up. Players got to fucking save some money too, man. Like this isn't gonna hurt me that bad. So yeah, it's a bad time for everybody, especially economically. I've been okay, but saving a little money ain't gonna fucking hurt.
Yeah. So I was looking at this the Tapology like lineup and everything, and at the bottom it says like Aldo and Vera, but it says fizzled instead of canceled. Like, do you remember what happened with it?
I remember we talked about it that it could happen, but was it Cheeto? Something happened with
Did
Cheeto?
it get rebooked?
I don't remember.
Because
I
I thought
remember
it was
talking
gonna
about
happen.
we talked about
Yeah.
it on the show, but I don't remember any cancellation. I don't know why.
Yeah. So yeah, it just has like fizzled right next to it. Everything else is like canceled because of injury or withdrawal or whatever it is rebooked. But this one it says fizzled. I'm like, huh? What do
Maybe
you
they
mean?
couldn't come to terms on either pay, the pay or maybe they wanted to be a main event or a co-main event and they didn't want to
Yeah.
be just on the
It's
undercard or something.
it's possible, but yeah, I tried to even Google it. I'm like, nothing coming up. Okay, so
See,
yeah,
okay, if that fight was on the main card, then I for sure would get it. Because yeah,
yeah,
that fight and with Moreno and Royval and the two main fights aren't bad. It just honestly, I'm trying to keep this totally MMA related, and we will for the most part. But to be honest, like I realized with this, I know people were talking about this too, like, oh, well, the product isn't worth it, don't buy it. So there's definitely that aspect to it too. But economically, business wise, like that is a sound argument, and there needs to be shown a difference between quality product and not. I like that when Connor fights, it's still $65. If this was boxing, Connor fights, that'd be $90. I mean, that's the way they do. You pay for what you get. You want a superstar, you're gonna pay higher prices. I like that their structure is that way, but not all their pay-per-views. And the pay-per-views are not created equal. They're not. There's some ESPN Plus cards that are better than this card.
Valentina and Jennifer Maya. We already know how it's gonna go. We'll see if Maya will even make weight.
There's
I
that
didn't want to
aspect
bring
too.
that up. Yeah, right. Like I didn't want to bring it up, but it's like she's had it what a couple times now since she's been in the UFC. So I mean, she already has that going for her.
There's that. I heard Cavill said that she'll step up. I mean, who knows if they'll do that? I guess they may not have a choice. I know that the UFC's been doing well during this time, and good for them. This is the sport we watch. This is a sport I like. I do wish the sport and even the company success, and I hope I'm glad that the fighters are making money in a time where nobody thought they could or should be. But when so many big companies, big corporations are making money hand over fist, I'm including the UFC in that. It almost seems like a moral dilemma to me to buy this card because you're just a sucker at this point. Honestly, it's like fucking I mean, I know the UFC is not in bed with like the airlines and motherfuck Chesapeake Energy for letting go of Julia Avila while they got bailed out by the fucking government. They couldn't pay this girl to fucking keep her job. Fuck you. But companies like that, the fucking Hertz and these airlines and Chesapeake Energy, these oil companies that were just laying people off even though they're raking in the dough. I know the UFC hasn't like laid people off or nothing. Anderson Silva and all that doesn't fucking matter. But yeah, it's like I don't want to just pay money for just because it's the UFC, just because it's a pay-per-view. Like, nah, I'll pass on this one. So yeah, again, I'm here coming as some fucking elitist that actually pays for his pay-per-views. Oh, no, I'll pass on this one. But yeah, you guys go ahead and watch it. I'm sorry, I'm not like going all in depth in this one. But again, this is I don't know if we can call this a behind the scenes episode because we're not just dropping you in the middle of the conversation. We basically had a 2-hour conversation of everything going on in the world, personal, politically, and COVID related. So we don't want to just go on with this shit here. So this is an MMA show. I don't know what the format is. I can't name it an episode and I can't name it a behind the scenes. I don't know what this is, but whatever it is, hope you guys enjoy it.
Like random thoughts.
Yeah.
Random combos.
Well, that's why we had that conversation off air with all. He was like, well, we could have done a 2 or 3 hour show with everything we talked about off air, including this, but nah, we got all that out of our system so we can just talk about MMA now.
Yeah, just talk shit. Let's talk about the Crawford and Brook fight.
Did
you actually watch it?
Oh, of course. Yeah, it was amazing. Well, it's funny you're asking me that.
Well, because by the time I noticed your tweet, or not your tweet, but your message, like I tried to tune in, it was already fucking over.
Did you forget it was on, or did you leave the room, or were you doing something else?
Yeah, I left the room and I was doing something else, and
okay.
Because I was waiting for it, but
yeah, here's the thing with boxing, and I feel bad in this case because there was some fucked up shit in the fight before that where there was supposedly a headbutt and there wasn't, and the fight got called even though it should have been a win for the other guy because it wasn't a headbutt. So it was this fucked up shit. So I understand why they took on, but it was like 25-30 minutes of a 1-round fight that they were just focusing on the angle and if there was a headbutt. So by the time Crawford and Booker, I was already like falling asleep. It was already kind of late. Like boxing does this shit, man. Like UFC, at least people talk about the pacing of a UFC event, but it's like, yeah, it's like 13 fights, but there's only a couple minutes between fights. Boxing is fucking an eternity, man. I hate that. I despise that about boxing. And in this case, it wasn't really their fault, but it didn't help matters with how the way it usually is.
That's crazy that they had that opportunity to use it, but it took them that long.
And it still came to the wrong conclusion. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Like, it took that long and the dude won. Great. I mean, there was a valid victory. Nope. Still no contest.
Some crazy shit, man.
Bullshit, man. Fuck.
Yeah, and I saw like Dana White like going off about that.
Oh, I loved his rant about Bob Arum.
Well, yeah.
Dude, he made some good points, man. It's hard to get on Dana's side with so many things nowadays. But I'm talking about Bob Arum. I didn't even know Bob Arum said these things. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, good. Fuck him, Dana. Good. You go.
I know, right? Yeah, he's right. Like everybody would roast him if he
said as they should. But here's
exactly.
Here's the thing with boxing media. They're just so nonchalant about everything because I think it's kind of like covering politics. Are you really going to be grilling Trump and Biden and Pelosi and all these people for being ultra corrupt? Like, I think if you're working in the Washington Post and New York Times and these political spaces, like, you know they're corrupt. Like, you don't even talk about it. It just comes with the job. And I think it's kind of the same thing with boxing. It's a corrupt sport and people say fucked up shit. I like Bad Left Hook. I mean, they have like good articles and that, but like everything is just like, oh, well, here's this shitty ass fight again. Like, damn, they're fucking brutal, man. That boxing media, like as Ann Walker said when he came on the show a few years back, they definitely do not have decorum. They're definitely like, this shit sucks. I'm covering it because I have to. Oh well.
Yeah, dude, it's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yep.
So that's why I wonder, like, why isn't Dana taking this opportunity to like move forward with Zuffa Boxing? Because it's been brought up a couple times, but he still hasn't pulled the trigger. And I guess he's just like, yeah, if you didn't hear from me, it ain't gonna happen. This Shields thing isn't gonna happen.
Shields? What, Shields
Yeah.
and Amanda?
Clarissa Shields and
And
somebody else. Like he was gonna try to launch, or the rumor was he's launching Zuffa Boxing with Clarissa Shields.
that'd be interesting because I believe she's with Showtime. I believe she's with Al Heyman, and Al Heyman fucking keeps his fighters. But interestingly enough, he has a business model similar to the UFC. So yeah, I don't know how we would have done that. It's funny you bring that up though. You actually put an idea in my mind. I don't think much about Zuffa Boxing, but there's one thing that boxing will never give MMA credit for because boxing doesn't like to give MMA credit for anything. The explosion of women's boxing has to be attributed, and I know this because I'm a fan now. It has to be attributed to women's MMA, to the UFC, to Ronda Rousey, to Joanna Jędrzejczyk, to these girls, to Cyborg. Women's boxing wouldn't be shit if people didn't see that women can actually fight in MMA. That's why I got involved. Like, I knew that there was female boxing, it just never caught my attention. Sorry to say this, I don't mean this disrespectfully, but it's kind of what it was seen a few years ago. It was like a sideshow. And now, did you see the Katie Taylor fight this weekend?
No, but I caught like the highlights.
Yeah, I sent you some. Man, she
Woo!
put on a master class. But she had a great one. Who was there was a fight before that? Oh, Terry Harper, British champion. God, that woman hits hard. I've never seen her fights until this weekend. Man, that girl's fucking crazy talented. And Michaela Mayer wants to fight her. That would be great. And like they talked about even in the commentators booth, like there's no reason to do this. Even Eddie Hearn saying like they basically said like there's because there's not a lot of money in it. Like they're barely growing the audience. Like they should want to see these fights because you can't be like, oh well that fight's too risky and this and that. Like no, people will actually tune in if they know that the fight's gonna be good. Like with Heather Hardy and Amanda Serrano, like MMA fans watch that because they know who those girls were. And they probably told boxing fans like, oh, you should watch these. These girls are pretty good MMA fighters. Like, I want to see what they do in boxing. Like that turnover is high. So I think Dana could really, really capitalize on Zuffa Boxing if he would focus on women because he already has so many female fighters. And I'm sure many of them would want to try. And then look at Beck Rawlings and some of these girls. Paige Van Zandt's going into bare knuckle boxing. Why wouldn't they just go into real boxing? They already have a fan base.
Yeah, that's true.
Because
I didn't think of it that way.
On the men's side, people are going to be hard because boxing fans tend to watch just male boxers. I mean, I don't want to see these fuckers. They can't box. They're not like real boxers. And then on a lot of MMA fans don't care about other combat sports. They're just, I just want to watch MMA. So they don't give a shit about two dudes fighting. But on the women's MMA front, they tend to support the women pretty hard. So
Yeah,
they'll
they
follow
do.
them wherever they go. Look at Cyborg when she fought Urena Bars and she had 2 Muay Thai fights and so many people watched that, even the media, because like, well, Cyborg's a big women's MMA star.
Yeah.
And then just like I said, with Heather Hardy and Amanda Serrano, like this could be a thing. I really think if he's smart, he could do something here. And then if he wants to sign other boxers or make UFC fighters boxers, okay, he can do that. But I think if he focuses with the women, this can be real interesting.
I hope he does just move forward with it and then like just get these girls more money. If he could somehow do that and pay them more too.
Oh, because the female boxers make shit, man. Like, it's not often male boxers look at UFC fighters and laugh at them like, you fucking chumps. You're making like 200 grand for a fucking 25-minute fight. You fucking idiots. But on the women's side, they're like, damn, girl, can I get some of that?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, like Heather Hardy, like remember she was like talking about all those tickets she sold?
Oh yeah, they were doing her dirty, man. Right, right. She like was
Mm-hmm.
barely making anything, and she had to make like a big chunk of it from tickets being sold, and they still
Mm-hmm.
wanted to put her on the fucking prelims.
Yeah, it wasn't even going to be televised or something.
Yeah, like just because again in the fans, you think it was boxing fans? No, that was women's MMA fans that were fucking riling her up because more people know Heather Hardy from MMA than from boxing.
Yeah, I didn't know anything about her
Me
until
either.
she went into Bellator.
And then
Yeah, man.
there's so many females like that came from boxing. Like you look at Bellator and then some other lesser known UFC fighters like Ava Knight
Oh yeah, that's
in
right.
Bellator. Yeah, she is a boxer. Denise Koholtz is a kickboxer, but with the way she punches, that girl can box, I'm pretty sure. The girl that just got signed from Contender Series, Danielle Wolf, she was a boxer. There's crossover to be made here, and this can really help both sports. And I know Dana doesn't like to help anything other than the UFC and MMA, but I think this can be really good. I don't see anything wrong with a win-win here.
Change the game again and then change the rules too because they
Two
don't
minute
have
round.
yeah, they don't fight the same. Like
How
the
laughable.
women do. Yeah, in MMA the women do. 5 round fights for main events, champion, fights and like everything's the same.
Dude, this is what I mean. Speaking of Gina Carano and Cyborg and all that earlier, I mean they fought. I believe that was one of the first 5 minute rounds that women were allowed to have. But most of Gina's fights were 3 3 minute rounds, and people were mocking it then. Even like Frank Shamrock and commentators and Mauro Ranallo, everyone, and Misha Tate. I remember Misha Tate was a big like, give us 5 round. Sarah Kaufman, the OGs are like, just give us 5 minute rounds. This is ridiculous. This is sexist and unfair, and they listen to them. Meanwhile, women's boxing is just oh, just get on your knees to do push-ups while you're at it too.
So archaic, man. Still. And it's been around for what?
Yeah,
Generation.
yeah. It's lunacy, man. I'm already liking this show. We have no talking points whatsoever, and we just talked about revolutionizing women's boxing here, man.
Yeah, I'm
And
all
Zuffa
for it, man.
Boxing, man.
Right? I'm all for it, especially with Heather. I noticed like she's tweeting a lot like, it's your job to promote us. It's not our job to do that. Like we can do all these things too, but it's ultimately like up to you, Eddie Hearn. Like she was like going off on him. And I noticed all those tweets.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if she's gonna continue with MMA or with boxing or should even retire because I don't know. She's kind of been wishy-washy on some stuff and looks like she's been going through some shit. But she definitely, even if she's not gonna get back into boxing, she loves boxing. She hates the politics of it. She hates how dirty it is, but she loves boxing. She definitely supports the women who compete in it for sure.
It just sucks for her, man. Like, cause she's a single mom, right? And she's just trying to make ends meet, like either doing
Yeah,
MMA or boxing. Like she'll take whatever she can.
yeah, and
And
then these girls can evolve too. Like I still remember when we interviewed a KGB that I asked her about her martial arts background, and then she said that yeah, she kind of got brought up in boxing and kickboxing because they didn't want her to just jump into MMA all the way. And we're thinking that they're going to put in actual established MMA fighters in there. Women's MMA has grown leaps and bounds. It is if not on par with the men, almost on par with the men in the skill category. But yeah, why wouldn't they want to get their hands better? Why wouldn't like focusing a few months on boxing help them a bit with their boxing and MMA and speed and footwork and power? That was the thing that we were talking about with Conor. Remember after he fought Mayweather, like what's he gonna look like now that he's done boxing? Like imagine if he has quicker hands and more power, and is this gonna help his striking game? His fight after that was Khabib, so we know that that wasn't a thing. But again,
yeah.
Khabib is a crazy wrestler, so that was probably always going to be a bad matchup. But yeah, I mean, there's those questions to be had.
Well, since you brought up Connor, I immediately like thought of Logan Paul. Did you see those
That's
videos with him sparring?
before I answer that question. That's so fucking sad.
I know.
But I get it, and I know it's not just your racism that they're white men and you just always just bunch them together. I get why. I get it.
Yeah,
And
because it's the
yes,
Floyd talk again, dude. Even Floyd like chime in and was like, dude, I'll beat your ass and then I'll go to God, I forgot what he internationally somewhere. And I'll go handle this dude too. And Logan Paul's like tweeted out like 50-1 or something. Like, really, Logan Paul? Sit
I I
down.
I think Eric 303 tweeted something like, "I guess they're going all in with just any dude off the street," which was a
Yeah,
great
the
tweet. But
sparring.
also,
Yeah.
I'm like, well, can't Logan Paul proclaim himself like king of the streets? I go full Kimbo Slice like street certified. He's
Oh,
just
I'd be
been
in with that.
like
I would be in with that.
it'd be funny and it'd also be kind of true. So yeah, but I, I tweeted after I saw that. Am I the only one that legit LOL'd when he saw this? And I did. I fucking laughed out loud. I know people were kind of like disgusted and appalled and mad and I was just like, this is fucking hilarious.
It was, dude. I was laughing at that uppercut. I'm like, that is just horrible. He's just winging shit.
And,
But I
and
like your idea with the street fights, though. He could probably do something with the YouTube and shit, like just going out and like fighting random dudes.
oh my god! I mean, his dumbass would do it, but clearly these guys are not boxers. I mean, he's not. And it's even more fucked up that he's had actual. I mean, Shannon Brigg was coaching him in the
Yeah.
for the KSI fight. So it's not like he doesn't know how to box. He's definitely been taught how to box. And if you see some of those, he used a few angles and he had some good punches. And some of those that knockouts or whatever that they showed in those clips, he's definitely gotten better. But I mean, he's fighting fucking scrubs.
Yeah.
Those aren't even sparring matches. He's straight up just wailing on them. And then yeah, when you see him like actually bum rushing someone, it's like yeah, it looks like Ronda in her prime.
Shit.
So we've named our last two episodes after Ronda, so I think subconsciously
Yeah.
mine's just going to Ronda now.
Sorry, Rhonda.
Yeah, sorry on my end too.
Sorry, Allie. That's your girl. Oh, Lord. She held the baby first, though. Sorry, Becky. Dropping more shit. Yeah, but anyways, it's just crazy how boxing works. Like, these guys just off the streets, like that KSI guy, like, they could just make all this fucking money, but these hardworking girls, man.
See,
Fucking
you're
bullshit.
you were just talking about Logan Paul. I almost forgot that we were talking about women's boxing a few seconds ago, but god damn it, you had to bring it around like that, huh?
Sorry, yeah, because it's just
I know
ridiculous. You were there at that Logan Paul fight.
No, I wasn't. What are you talking about, Rain?
You were there.
No. Don't start spreading rumors about me.
Oh my god.
Hey, I wasn't
pissing and shit.
I wasn't paid. Well, see, that was the true payment right there. Yeah, I wasn't close to that, so
The
that
porn stars
yeah.
found out later, even though the names of them,
the
girls.
I knew one of them. Shout outs to Riley Reid. But yeah.
That shit was funny, and I had to I had to look it up. Like, god damn, this girl can take one. Couple.
Oh my god.
A few, actually. Like, go down that rabbit hole.
Skinny white girls are insane. I'll say that.
Her butthole was big. Sorry.
Jesus Christ. You know what? I'm glad I had to come around to that. I can't call it unfortunate, but it was a fucking experience covering that fight. But yeah, bring some humor to the whole situation because yeah, these guys making bank and these girls just they put in as much work as the men. They're trying their best, and yeah, man.
If not more, right? Because I mean, Serrano's like fighting. She's learning jiu-jitsu and shit, and fighting both sports. So
yeah, like I mean, there's kickboxers that have transitioned and MMA fighters that have gone to kickboxing and whatnot, but how many boxers go into MMA? I mean, when you're especially with men, when you're a boxer, you're good. Just stay there. I mean, you're gonna make good money. Yep. These girls are hustling every way through.
Yeah, they talk a good game. Like, yeah, I can destroy any MMA fighter, but they'll never step in the cage. There's some MMA fighters that would love to step in that boxing ring, but no, Dana won't allow it.
Yeah, that's why at the end of the day, yeah, of course, it was a gigantic money fight and it was a freak show fight and all that, but give Conor credit, man. I mean, he did get embarrassed. I'm not going to say he didn't. But hey, he fucking put it out there, man. It's not like it was like, oh, what did he have to lose? Like, well, he
He
did
didn't
fucking,
really.
yeah, he did fucking get knocked out, and he did get schooled. I mean,
Yeah.
that's not, at least to your ego. I mean, that is something. Yeah, you got the check to fucking make you feel better about it, but still. But to come back of what brought it all about with Brook and Crawford, did you end up rewatching it? Or did you just see the knockout?
Yeah, I just saw the knockout. I was like, fuck, dude. Like, it's already over with. And I'm like, all right. I was like more interested in what was going on with like why it was taking so long. And I mean, they were able to watch the tape again and they were just pissing everybody off. I noticed like people were mad on Twitter and Luke Thomas was going off too. And
Yeah, everyone, Bob Arum, the commentators, the trainers. Yeah, it was bullshit, man.
yeah, so I was entertained by that. So, but yeah, I saw highlights and shit. And yeah.
Well, I mean, Brooke, it was interesting because, as I mentioned last week, Crawford did not look great in his last fight. It had been a while since he fought. Brooks hasn't been the greatest fighter as of late, but he was the bigger fighter, and he should have provided some type of challenge, and he did for the first 2 rounds, and then Crawford just kind of biding his time, but when he figured him out, and he fucked him up. That was a real bad knockout. I mean, he didn't knock him dead, but the ref basically had to step in. He didn't fall, and he still gave him an 8 count because he fell against the ropes. It's like, yeah, if it wasn't for the ropes, your ass would have been on the ground. So he did good in that, but I knew what was coming right afterwards. Like, he's not gonna recover, and sure enough, he didn't. And Crawford just fucked him up. And the fight everyone's talking about, the fight everyone wants to see for at least a year now, him and Errol Spence. And I swear to God, I don't think it's gonna happen. Or I think it's gonna be like Mayweather and Pacquiao. It's gonna happen way too late. Oh, that's gonna be such a tragedy, man.
They always play games like that.
They've done it in MMA too. I mean, we never got GSP and Anderson. You know, we were talking about Anderson earlier. And
I thought Dana never had a thought of doing that. That was just all the crazy fans that wanted to see it. I think GSP didn't even want that either.
GSP wanted to, but it was like Amanda with Cyborg. Like, people wanted to see Amanda and Cyborg before it happened, but she's like, no, I want to get up. I want to do it right. Like, give me some time. I'm not just gonna go up like as soon as you tell me. Yeah, so that's what GSP was saying, and Dana was like, there's no time, we need it now. And it was like, well, fuck you. Because GSP actually had a pair of balls, as much as people see him as this company man. It's like, nah, man, he actually stood his ground.
Oh, okay. I thought recently like they asked about that and he was just like, no, that was never on the table or something. Maybe I misunderstood. I was like, what? That was never okay. Yeah.
One thing I'll commend GSP on too. Now that Anderson's gone, I don't think GSP. Well, there's obviously contractual things. He could still very well be under contract and not be a free agent in that way. Like, oh, I can just go to another company. But I don't think he'll seek out Anderson. You know, he can make a payday off them. Oh, the long-awaited Anderson GSP fight. But I don't think he'll do it just to get paid the way many people would. I mean, shit, like in Mike Tyson and Roy Jones.
Yeah. I don't think. I mean, is he seeing or is he getting a lot of eyes on him like he was before? You know, Anderson Silva? Like, that's got to be a factor too. Especially, I don't know. It's just seemed like ever since the Derek Brunson fight, it's just like has just gone downhill.
Yeah, but the matchup of GSP and Anderson would definitely they can sell that on pay-per-view on some random, like, be it Bellator or fucking, some other promotions. They could do it. Probably wouldn't sell great, but they can do it. Like, it's that sellable of a fight. But GSP, I don't think is going down that way. I know he does want to fight Khabib. I know he would come back for Khabib. But even Khabib, I guess this week was saying kind of like that's bullshit, right? That he actually is done.
Yeah, he's like, I want to go back to studying. And what did he say? I got like sheep. He got new sheep on the farm, and he wants to tend to all that and just live his life or something.
Oh my God, yeah. How many? I don't know. I'm assuming there was an article about this, but I do not want to read the comments of that article.
Oh yeah, I didn't look down that. Yeah, I know where you're going with this. Shit. That's racist.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Is it
Somebody
racist to
like
say it about a white guy?
I
He
don't
is
know.
white.
Yeah.
He's literally Caucasian.
Yeah. Well.
But the whole I know. I know what you're saying, but proceed.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess that's all bullshit. People are like, well, why is he still in the Wasada pool and this and that? And GSP isn't. Somebody commented, well, we don't know if GSP isn't. Do you know? So, I mean, that's a good point. Like, we really don't know. He could be, and he just hasn't said anything. Because it could, I mean, there could be a possibility that he comes back, so why not stay? Right? Just be ready.
Yeah, and then shit, you can always like fight Connor too. I don't know if GSP really wants to fight Connor or not, but like if Connor has a fight coming up and it's like there's someone drops out and the UFC gets at him, like, hey, if this guy drops out, will you step in? Like I'm pretty sure GSP could be away from the scenes, like, all right, I'll be training because I train every day anyway. Just let me
Yeah.
know. It would be a little. I think it's unlikely, but I can see it happening.
Yeah, and he still hasn't really, like, said he's retired, right? Officially retired, so.
Yeah, GSP?
Yeah. Did he
No,
say that? Like, I'm
yeah,
officially retired?
he
Okay.
had a press conference and everything. I want to say
Oh, yeah, that's right, huh?
a few weeks or months after the Bisping fight, I think.
And he said, I'm retired?
I'm retired, like I'm done.
He
Like
said that? Oh,
he
okay.
had actual like MMA media, Canadian media, like newspaper and
Oh,
magazine
yeah.
outlets. Yeah, they're
It's
like,
been
no,
a
I'm
while.
officially
Yeah,
announcing my retirement.
that's right. That was a huge deal.
He didn't
Okay,
do it
you're
in
right.
a UFC interview. He didn't do it in the octagon. He just was like, no, this is me. Like I made the decision. I'm done. I'm
That's
officially
right.
retired.
Yeah. Okay.
But of
Yeah,
course,
because
I mean, it doesn't matter. He's talked about wanting to fight Khabib in one way or another.
yeah, but Khabib's mom won't let him come back. So
She'll beat your ass, boy.
take your sheep too.
Take your shit. You know what? They don't have much in the Caucasus Mountains, man. I mean, what? She's not. What? She gonna take his phone away? You think Khabib's gonna be that into if you take his fucking iPhone away?
Do they even have
That's what.
internet? They
That's what
probably do.
you're talking about Khabib exiting the Osada pool and everything. Dude, shit, the motherfucker probably wrote a letter. Everything's fucked up with COVID and travel anyway, too. He probably wrote it. Dana probably won't see it till next March. Probably won't even, he probably doesn't even text Dana.
Like, how do they get a hold of each other? Like, do they have internet?
We know that Ali does all his tweets anyways, and we're like, oh, but what about tweets? Like, well, it's not even him anyway.
That shit's funny.
I guess I'll steer it since you've been steering the ship for a while now, Ray. So your boy Felder, man.
Man, that was sad, dude.
How are you sad? That was amazing.
It was amazing, but it just sucked, man. Like, just him talking about his dad and let's get him,
For
dad,
sure.
and yeah, let's do it, dad, and like, I mean, he did really good for somebody that had like only 5 days.
Hey man, on that front, his dad would be proud. I'm not
Yeah,
saying this to be sappy and shit. I mean that's a fucking man right there, man. He's
yep.
that's some warrior shit straight up. And
Yeah.
his fucking interview after the fight, my God.
Oh yeah, ripping everybody. Yep. Good.
Damn.
Somebody had to say it.
Like and Felder seems like I mean, we know he's a warrior in the cage and he's an animal and everything, but he's a very articulate, smart, sweet guy, it seems like. And he just went full dad mode and said, fuck all y'all pussies.
Yep.
Damn. That was
Another level.
sexy. That was a
Yep.
sexy. Even I felt that feeling like, damn. Listen to
That's a
this guy,
sexy
man.
man.
Cause that was like it was just crazy and again it tripped me out like when he said I think I tweeted this afterwards too that after he said that I hadn't stepped foot in a cage in however many months I was like I'm not surprised his reflexes were off he clearly hadn't sparred much he clearly couldn't really wrestle like But look at his cardio. He was off the fucking roof. It was through the roof. He did not
Yeah.
get tired. He had not trained for a fight yet, but he was training for a triathlon, which shows you why Nick Diaz and Nate Diaz and these dudes fucking can go for days. But yeah, it makes a difference when you're not actually in there getting your timing right, sparring, drilling. Those things matter. But just through guts and heart, determination, and good fucking cardio, he did what he did. And props to Dos Anjos too, man. I mean, I, I don't know if he was planning to wrestle Islam Makhachev like that. I'm gonna assume probably not, because Makhachev is a badass wrestler. But to flip it on a dime like that and have success and then shit on Felder, I still remember right now. It's like clear as day in my mind in the fifth round when he had his like legs like totally split against the cage, and Rafael fucking had him. Like he could have just taken his ass down, and he couldn't. Just through sheer will and strength and fucking flexibility from Felder, he couldn't do it, man. That was nuts. It was not the most entertaining fight you ever see, but if you knew the backstory behind it, it was so enthralling.
Yeah. Beautiful, man. Oh, and then he did the Contender Series and
Oh shit, right? Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
like very good makeup, or like he's Wolverine.
Oh, I didn't
Like
see
heals up
his
fast.
I didn't see his like profile shot. And I watched like two. I watched the Victoria Leonardo fight. That's the only one
Mm-hmm.
like I watched. So I didn't really like take a good look at him. But yeah, I forgot he did commentary. Like, damn,
Yeah, fucking amazing.
what a
Oh
pro,
man.
man. What a pro. Like it's hard. How can you not look up to that guy?
Yep.
Like he's so smart, such a pro. And everything clearly. I mean, he doesn't miss weight. I mean, what he talked about, like Thursday was one of the darkest days of my life. Like, oh, god damn, dude, that's deep. But he fucking did it. And then the way he prepares, the way his commentary is fucking fantastic. Like, he's the only guy the only guy that I could say that's more of a pro than him possibly was Brian Stan. And I mean, that dude's a fucking hero. So that he's on that level. Paul Felder is. That guy's great dude, man. Great dude. And again, props to Dos Anjos too for taking that fight and doing what he had to do. That was not easy for him too. I know people didn't want to give him credit because it's like, oh, it's Felder and he wasn't ready for this. Like, but still, he did what he did, man. That was not an easy fight.
Nope. He had COVID. Remember?
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Yep.
And then he'd been praying. He'd been preparing for Makhachev not just right now, but yeah, before he got COVID. So he's been preparing for Makhachev for what, like 3-4 months maybe.
Yep.
And then they switched this dude in 5 days' notice, and he does what he does. And in a weight class, he hasn't fought. Both of these dudes, they both made weight. Dos Anjos is a gigantic man. It hasn't made the weight, and he's older. He hasn't made the weight class in years, and made it look easy. Just amazing, man. For such an uninteresting fight, so much to talk about there.
Yeah. And then now that you brought that up with, him going down to 155, like, I'm trying to see where he landed by looking at the rankings here.
I think Felder was number 7 on the UFC rankings, so maybe like 7-8. So Felder fell and he possibly took a spot.
Yeah, he's number 6. He's tied with Oliveira, Charles Oliveira.
Oh my God, I'd love to see him in Oliveira. Well, he was calling for Conor after the fight, which I think, honestly, I know with the I'm calling it a rumor. We've been saying this for fucking weeks now. I know there's like, oh, it's signed, but to me, it's still a rumor that he's gonna fight Poirier in January. I want to see it. I hope it does happen, but I don't know. I just things with Conor, man. I would not be surprised if he comes out tomorrow and says, not paying me what I want. It's all bullshit. But I'd love to see Dos Anjos and Conor. But if he's neck and neck with Oliveira, I ain't mad at that either, man.
That kind of sucks for Oliveira, though. Like, he's just sitting there waiting, and he's been on, like, a hot streak. It's just up top, it's so congested, and then now you have Chandler coming into the mix.
Well, COVID, too. I mean, he had, like, the last fight, well, lockdowns were already happening, but basically before lockdowns, and he's still in Brazil, last I checked, so I don't know. I mean, I guess he could have gone on Fight Island somewhere, but shit, maybe he got COVID himself. Maybe he's doesn't want to fight with this shit going on right now. You can't blame him. Who knows what it is, but either way, still not his fault. It definitely sucks.
Yeah. I mean, if Tony and Chandler, if that happens, and then Dustin and Connor, that happens. I mean, I guess he can fight Dan Hooker, which is number 5, or he could just go straight to the top and just fight Justin Gaethje. I mean, that's a possibility too, but
I mean, yeah, you got to
man,
remember too that Dos Anjos is a former champion. So if they go,
yeah,
with Ferguson he already fought Ferguson, but if they go with Chandler or Gagey or Connor, like none of it would surprise me.
yeah, they got a lot of work to do, matchmakers.
Yeah.
Yep.
Also, got to give a shout out to Chaos Williams. Oh my God, that was
Oh yeah.
that almost made up for 2020.
For real?
Oh yeah, and to the people, and I don't know, maybe sometimes these things aren't as reported. Greg Hardy's a bad guy, but compared to what allegedly happened with Abdul Razak Al Hassan, it almost makes him look like a saint. From the stories, horrible rape of 2 women that he was accused of, and he was they dropped charges on that too. So potential rapist just walking the streets and still has a job with the UFC got fucking deaded by Chaos Williams, and I loved every second of it. I was cheering. I think I took my shirt off at one point. Beautiful.
You're like, what,
Twirling
like
it and shit.
twirling around and like fucking like.
Titties everywhere, yeah. That was beautiful,
Oh
man.
shit.
I don't give a shit. I don't care if the dude was out for a few minutes. I mean, God bless Chaos Williams too. Like, oh, I'm glad he's okay. But nah, you shouldn't be glad, man.
Oh
Fuck that
man.
guy. As I said, I hope he takes that fucking I hope he takes that bonus and fucking takes his lady out, man. Just have a meal on the rapist, man. It's on his dime.
That dude was out for a while.
Good.
For a fucking while. That was crazy. A 30-second knockout. I
Yep.
watched that
And
shit over and over again
it
just to
wasn't
see
even
like
like
how it's
it wasn't even like the strongest punch. It was just like
uh-uh.
a straight right down the pipe. I'm not even saying this as Hassan's a pussy, like, oh, he has no chin. Clearly that dude hits extremely hard because he deaded him. But
Yeah.
I didn't feel bad about it.
Yep. I watched it over and over. I was like checking out his feet and how he planted it and everything. I'm like, how did he generate so much power? Like,
Well,
how did he do that? Like,
he did catch him as he was trying
he
to
was
land a
coming
kick.
in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
as he was landing a kick, so he was on one leg, so the balance wasn't there, so he's gonna take the shot harder. But still, usually when people get hit like that, they fall on their ass, like, oh shit, he got dropped because he was off balance. No, he just killed him.
That was beautiful. Not much happened until then because we gotta talk about this one too. The Yoder fight. I thought I was watching everything in slow motion. Like it was weird, just them two throwing punches and everything, and just just so slow to me, like fucking Matrix style. Like
I
everything
don't
was like slowed down.
I don't
It was
remember like
weird.
every single minute of that fight. There's 2 things I remember though. Her weird fucking monkey flip in the first round. She was like hanging off the cage, like upside down, and some weird scramble. That I remember that clearly. And then the last 10 seconds where she basically choked her out if the bell hadn't rung. That's what I remember of that fight.
Yeah, it was strange. It was very slow.
Miranda Granger, from the little I remember of her, she seems to be the kind of grinder. And Yoder obviously prefers to grapple. So although I don't remember it off the top of my head, how the whole fight went, I'm not surprised that a grinding grappler with a opportunist grappler probably wasn't that exciting. But I do remember that weird scramble in the first round, and then she basically choked her out at the end of the fight. It just was because the bell rung, they gave her a decision. I was very impressed with Yoder. She still does Yoder things. I don't think she gets the credit she deserves.
Yeah, I thought it was weird. Maybe it's just a bad matchup. I'm like, oh man, I wanted to see a little bit more striking just because of where she was training at, or she's still training at.
She's just not a natural striker though. I mean, she's always
Yeah.
gonna go to grappling. It's good. She needs to get those. You know, she's down. She'll get in a fucking fight, but she's always gonna try to grapple. I mean, she's from Dan Henderson's camp originally. They're wrestlers down there.
Yeah.
Talk about the
That
other
one.
women's fights that we did cover. Kanako Murata and Randa Marcos. Marcos now on a 3-fight skid, but to me, there's no shame because Kanako Murata is a fucking beast. That was a hell of a performance by Murata. Fortunate for Marcos, but she was making her case. Marcos was like, well, you know, I knew she was a tough girl and I took it on a couple days' notice. I don't know if it's gonna save her here though. She's now under a 500 record in the UFC.
It might, like, because she's a company girl. Like, she's stepping up, right? So.
She needs to fight Cyphers next. Just
Oh, shit.
why fuck around, right?
Oh, shit. To see who, like, gets to stay or not on the islands.
If her pink slips, man. I know it's kind of fucked up. I like both girls, but some point it's gonna come.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a good fight. I did go back and watch it. That was a good fight.
And then McKenna and
Oh, yeah. Kay Hansen, yeah.
I don't know about that one. I don't know
I
about
thought
people saying
Hansen
it.
won.
Okay, all right. I was kind of like, wait, am I the only one seeing this? Like, this doesn't look that obvious to me. This seems pretty fucking close. And yeah, I kind of thought Hansen won too.
Yeah.
But you don't go for the OC women, so it don't matter, Irene.
Well, I mean, like, I didn't think it was cool. I'm like, I mean, Hansen looked good. She looked really fucking good.
Yeah.
And I want to see her more. It's just that fucking hair was like bothering the fuck out of me, man. Like, you need to tie that up more.
Dude, talk to Holly Holm, man. That girl's got like longer hair than you, and she figures it out. Never see Holly Holmes all the fucking, her hair all over the place.
My God, it was bothering me. I'm like, bitch, do something with that, with her pink scrunchie. I guess she got a scrunchie sponsor now because of that fight. So good for her.
Wait, so does that mean in her next fight she's actually gonna be like cornrowed up or have her hair in a more manageable style?
I don't know. I think it's going to be in several scrunchies. I have no idea what they're going to do. But she's sponsored by, a scrunchie company. Yeah, man. I mean, it was a good fight. Right off the bat, it was a really good fight.
It was.
Back and forth. But, I thought Hansen took it.
It was definitely the best women's fight that night, I think, for sure.
Yeah. Yep.
But I think so too. I'm glad we're on the same boat because I watched it like twice. I'm like, what am I missing here? I'm like, if they make it seem like it's very obvious for McKenna, I'm like, I don't think so, man. I don't think so. I was surprised with McKenna because she's still so young that I'm like, because even though they're the same age, Hansen just has more experience. At this age, I think she has like, 10, 11 fights compared to McKenna's 5 or 6. Like, that's almost double. That's a lot. Mm-hmm. That's a lot, even though they're the same age. But I was like, I don't think so. I don't think she took this one, but I don't know. I wasn't on Twitter too much for that fight. I didn't see what people were saying, but I was surprised. I was like, no, I don't know about this one.
Yeah, I wasn't on Twitter for that either, but just like glued to it because it was such a good fight from start to finish. And I'm like, what?
Yeah, and striking, grappling, submissions, wrestling. Yeah, it was all good. And they both were in trouble at points and had dominant positions and both landed. And yeah, it was fun. I'd like to see a rematch, although I doubt that it happens.
Yeah.
Maybe somewhere down the line, it'll be like Tisha and Rose. They got matched up really early, and eventually they met again.
They might later on, right? Because they're so young.
Yep.
They might be, I don't know, fighting for the belt against each other. I don't know. Something might happen. Because they're, 20, right? You said?
20, yeah. 20, 21. I don't even know if they can drink yet, yeah.
I don't think so. Yeah, that was cool. I like that one. I think that's pretty much it.
Well, those were the fights we covered because
yeah.
Yones and Smolka didn't happen.
Right.
Much to Paul Felder's chagrin. That would have been fun, but we'll see now too with Smolka, right? I mean, he was the one that had weight issues. Let's see if he stays around just with this.
Yeah, he was already teeter-tottering. What's going to happen with him?
Really doesn't help too that he used to fight at 125, so it's not like, oh, he's too big to 135, which he may be, but it's like he used to fight at 125 and usually made that weight, went up because he was having issues, and now he can't make this one. Like, that doesn't look good, man.
Nope.
Sorry, Smoker. Gotta leave you
Sorry.
here, son. Gotta get off the train. Kind of talked about the Connor thing. One matchup that I did see that I had to tag you in was Sarah McMahon and Juliana Pena happening in January.
Wow. I saw that. I'm like, "Ooh, okay, it's gonna be a rough night." I mean, you're talking about an Olympian here, and Pena just
Yeah,
started, I don't know, like a couple years ago in comparison. So,
yeah, but the fight that I can never escape with Sarah McMahon is the Kell Vieira fight. But the thing is, you made a really good point with Pena in the last fight with her submission defense. Pena's submitted a girl. She tends to be more of a ground and pound girl, but she can submit girls. But I don't think she could submit McMahon. But if she does, I wouldn't be surprised. And I want to say that McMahon could submit her, but I don't.
yeah.
I know she's submitted girls before. I know she's got a good arm triangle, but I don't know if she's upped her game that much. And maybe I should
Oh,
ask you.
she
Maybe you
has.
would know. Yeah.
She has. She has. She owns a gym. She owns a jiu-jitsu wrestling gym
Oh
with
yeah.
her man.
Her
Yep.
husband's a black belt. No, he's a jiu-jitsu guy, right?
I think they're still like they're not married yet. But yeah,
But
he used
he
to
is
be
a.
my he used to be my coach at the UFC
Uh,
gym, but he has his own gym now, and yep,
are they
they've
still
been
living in Sacramento?
yep, yep. So they train a lot, man. Yep.
Does she just train just with him in her own gym, or does she go to like Alpha Male or somewhere to like
Oh
train
no,
striking?
she still goes to Alpha Male. She's still there too.
Oh, okay. So she's not
Yeah.
just doing the wrestling thing. She's still training her boxing and kickboxing and stuff.
Yep. Yep.
Cool.
She's doing all that. But yeah, she has her own place too. And yeah, her man being a black belt, yep, that definitely comes in handy.
Yeah, you got to beat down the girl from Sig Jitsu, man. Come on, this is her a lot of pride here, man. In the school that says to not block body punches or leg kicks because they don't hurt.
And remember that Alexis Davis fight with Sarah? Got her in that arm triangle?
She submitted Alexis.
Yeah.
It's been a while back. I don't remember. No,
Yeah.
I know that she submitted to girls with arm triangles before. I didn't remember that Alexis Davis was one of them. I think she's done
Yeah.
that more than once. But with
Mhm.
Pena, the thing that worries me with Pena is that she's likes to be on top too. So I do wonder like if Pena does get on top of her, which is a possibility, if she can submit her off her back. I mean, it's very possible that she can scoop her up and put her ass on the mat too, but obviously it all depends on on the transitions and how it gets there.
Sarah's a strong woman.
She is, but again, like I said, the Kellen Vieira fight is the one that I can't forget that fight. It was
Yeah. Yeah,
like
that was a
I
tough one.
forgive the Ronda Rousey fight, I forgive the Amanda Nunes fight. I mean, it is what it is. But the Kellen Vieira fight, I was like, that was the moment where I'm like, fuck, she's done. Like I can't like I don't know if I could ever trust her again. She has all
Mhm.
these fights where she should win, but like sometimes she just fucks it up. And that was one of those where I'm like, I don't know if I could do this anymore. But we'll
Yeah.
see. We'll see. I'm always gonna root against Pena, so I'm definitely gonna be rooting for her for McMahon here.
Yeah.
Uh,
Hopefully those like submissions like pissed her off enough to like really up her game.
yeah,
Cause
because she
she
was
got
yeah.
what, Ketlin, and then who else did she get submitted by? Maria
Well,
Renault.
Nunes. Did Renault submit her too?
Yeah,
And I
I
think
think
by
so.
triangle too, right? Because Renault does
Yeah.
have. See what I mean? Like that's the type of shit where I'm like, can I trust you in other people's guard? But the thing is, I don't think Pena has
Yeah.
that weapon.
Yeah, because she was like going on a run there, and then yeah, she came back, fought Alexis Davis, Gina Mazzani. Like she was a young girl, she was young.
Yeah,
Got her in the first round, I think, and then
I think she
yeah, and
got
then
her with the
Ketlin.
arm triangle too.
Yep, that same move. Yep,
She's
yep,
a wrestler. Wrestlers love that shit.
yeah. So we'll
Strong
see,
person move.
man. We'll see Juliana Pena where her headspace is at. She got submitted by a striker, so see how she feels about that. Like
Well, shit. Maybe this ups her striking game, like, cause maybe she has second doubts about the ground now.
Yeah,
And
right?
then if this turns into a kickboxing match between them, that'll be interesting because we know Sarah hits like a truck, but she doesn't have like a lot of knockouts like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this one.
Yeah, I always look forward to a Sarah McMahon fight. I'm always just like, always just like looking between my fingers. I'm like, oh, don't fuck it up. No offense,
Yeah.
Sarah, but
Remember
I
she was
say this because
supposed
I'm
to
a fan.
fight Nico. I was scared for Nico.
I think they both were. Well, no, and Pena
Sarah
actually
was
did fight
supposed to.
Nico.
Sarah was supposed to fight her too at one point.
Yeah, and then
Yeah. Crazy, man.
am I tripping? Did Nico get released?
I don't know what happened with her. I can look it up real quick and see.
I saw someone else. Who was it? I think Verdum. I think Verdum got released recently too.
Didn't he sign with PFL?
Yeah, that's what I thought I saw.
Yeah, he signed with PFL. Nico, well, she tested positive for COVID back in August, but nothing since really.
Oh damn, that could have been deadly with her.
Why?
COVID.
Oh, because she's on the reservation and everything.
Well, Native Americans and
Yeah.
yeah, it's a real thing. I'm not saying that to be like racist or anything. I'm not even trying to bring up history. It's just a thing. I know this because of my girlfriend. She went to school in Arizona, and they do not fuck around. This may surprise y'all, but they do not fuck around with vaccinations in Arizona. If you go to school to a university in Arizona, you need to be up on your vaccinations. They will not fuck around because they have a lot of Native Americans in the state, and they try to protect them. So yeah, that's something I learned as of late too. Scary. This doesn't have much to do with anything, but did you see the video of Wonderboy kicking the shit out of that dude?
Kicking the shit out of that dude. I saw
Some
the Wonder Boy like dancing in aerobic gear.
No, he's some guy. I don't know if he was just some fan or just I don't know who the fuck this guy was. But he was asking to get leg kicked, and Wonderboy fucking
Oh,
leg kicked the
fuck that. No.
and then it
No.
reminded me of something that I realized something now about Wonderboy. I think Eric 303 tweeted this a few months ago of Wonderboy playing dodgeball with because he teaches all like the kids
Yeah.
karate classes. It's like dodgeball with the kids. He was going hard, man, like beating the shit out of these kids.
Yeah, right? He was not. I mean, even if it's like a little like soft Nerf ball, that shit still hurts if you're like beaming at somebody like a little kid. Fucking Wonder Boy.
Wonderboy's an asshole, man, and now I like him even more.
That's messed up.
Or even like Eric 303 when he tweeted that he was like, man, fuck them kids. Like basically, yeah. And then the way he was kicking this dude, I'm like, God damn, dude, he's like going full ovary on this guy. Yeah, Rian, I said it. I know you're talking shit about Wonder Boy, but you forgive Overeem for kicking little kids.
Yeah, that's harsh, man. Every time I see that one, I'm like, that little girl. That poor little girl.
Uh,
Fucked up, man. Oh, hell no. I do not. Don't kick me. I do not want to get kicked. Fuck that. I don't want to get punched in the face. I don't want to get kicked. I'm good. I'll never ask a fighter to do that. Fuck you people. Why do you even ask that? Are you on drugs? You must be on something to ask that.
I just think they're like those jackass types. That's the funny thing.
Oh,
I think that's why Jackass became so popular back in the day. It was like we all have friends like that. These guys just managed to get a fucking TV show. Those people
yeah.
are everywhere, man. There's Steve-O's and Johnny Knoxville's fucking everywhere.
Or those dudes, those people that like pain.
Yeah, adrenaline junkies and fucking
Got those people.
masochists. Yep, for
Yeah,
sure.
I'm good, bro.
Well, it's funny. You're the one posting on Instagram all the time and no pain, no gain and all this shit at the
That
gym.
I'm cool with. I'll push myself until I puke. That I'm cool with. That I don't want to get kicked. Not by no fucking Wonder Boy. Fuck that.
Oh yeah, I mean there's a difference, right? I mean, yeah, you've been kicked in
Yeah.
sparring and shit like that, but yeah.
I'm good, man. I know how hard I kick. I can only imagine, yeah, how hard he kicks. He lands that shit like, nah, I'm good.
we kind of talked about everything. And I don't know what else
Yeah.
to talk about
Yeah.
here. So I think we'll probably just end it here. Don't expect the podcast next week since it's Thanksgiving. So this will have to hold you off until then. And we have a bit of an announcement to make. So this is not our usual format, as we've said a million times, but our format's going to change a bit in the near future. Rena and I have been talking, and I do not do this in a timely manner. We usually record this on Thursday. It is theoretically possible to have this recorded and done Thursday night or Friday morning. However, I work. When I get tired, I fucking sleep. There's like no two ways about it. And I don't get editing the way I'd like to do. So, given my schedule, I tend to finish it around Saturday mornings. And that's not really good when fights are on Saturday and you guys have other things going on. And I don't want just a handful of you guys listening and trying to cram it in between the morning and when the fights happen. So, we're going to start going ahead in the previews, basically going a week ahead, and we're going to start trying to release these on Sunday morning after the fights. That way you at least get a preview of the fight that's upcoming and you don't have to squeeze it in Saturday morning if you want to stay relevant with all that. We want to remain relevant too, but we figured this is a better way for everyone to get a better experience out of it. So a few weeks, you'll see what we're talking about. We're still experimenting with this, and if there's any issues you guys have with it, we're always open. My Twitter, you guys know our Twitter and Instagram at Fox with you and at Juice_MMA. The podcast is at iFox with Juice. You can get at us anywhere there. But that's basically it for now. That's basically it for this episode. So have a good one, guys. Thank you all for listening and hope you have a good Thanksgiving.
Yep. Have a good one next week. See you.
Later.